Hey guys, what's up? It's your friend O. Timothy here, back with another edition of Flat Smacking in Jacksonville. We are at the Science Fair, the Jacksonville Science Fair, and as you can see, it's hopping. Plenty of people. Research Flat Earth! FlatEarth101.com, guys! We've been lied to. Government documents admit the Earth is flat and not rotating. Look it up on YouTube. YouTube is censoring Flat Earth search results. Search government documents admit Flat Earth on YouTube. It's flat, guys. FlatEarth101.com. And like I was saying, we have been removed. We were all the way over here at the corner, not bothering anyone, and the woman who was holding the event decided to leave, or ask us to get the cops to ask us to leave. Yes, sir.
I just wondering if you could talk to us a little bit.
Oh yeah, sure. I got some brochures over here. You want to come take a look?
Yes.
You want to take a look at the government documents too?
Sure.
Yeah.
I heard about government documents. I heard like a lot of Jews also mess with it and stuff. Crazy.
Oh yeah, well it's not any one person, but you know, like the Roman Catholic Church is just as responsible. The Jesuit astronomers throughout history have been going.
I picked up a sample already.
There you go. Come take a look at the documents too. So these people are interested because I was talking about it. Here, give them a brochure. There you go, and then also five questions mainstream science can't answer. Can you? Oh, you were here already. Saw that already. But yeah. Oh, so look, government documents right here, guys. Here, hold it up.
I have a question. I don't know
If you want to take a picture of that and verify all the links for yourself, you can actually go online and look up these documents for yourself.
how did y'all find it?
Oh, there's millions of people online coming to this truth, and they're sharing it online. It's a whole community. Millions of people are realizing that the Earth is flat and stationary.
There was 200 proofs we do not live on a spinning ball.
Yeah, Eric Dubay did 200 proofs we don't live on a spinning ball. You can look that up on
More
YouTube.
than 200.
I got a question.
Sure.
So, biblically, right? I'm going off what the Bible says.
Yeah, right here.
Right.
240 verses.
In these, all these, scriptures and all those verses, do you know how many times it's been, like, translated?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we use the Hebrew, Aramaic. We use Strong's Concordance to look up the definition of words.
Right.
And the word firmament in Genesis, when it describes the firmament, is actually, it's called rakia, is the Hebrew word for firmament, and it implies something strong, beat out of metal. So the word itself in Hebrew implies a solid barrier, a solid object. And that's what is above our heads. Scientifically, we have to live in a pressurized system. Because you can't have pressure without a container, right? Check this out. The pressure formula is P equals F over A. Pressure equals force over area. Area implies a container. You can't have area without a container, just like you can't have pressure without a container. So scientifically, we have to live in a pressurized, enclosed system. Just scientifically.
So, let's say I go to New York and fly from New York to Australia.
Right.
So you're saying I can't go all the way around to LA?
You can, because the North Pole is in the center, and the you follow magnetic north as you're traveling across. Just picture like a dinner plate. Yeah, there you go. So you can circumnavigate like that.
So I do actually have a question. There was a flat alt group that they wanted to disprove the whole 15-degree
Axial rotation.
Yeah. So they
Right.
You saw the Netflix video.
No, I didn't.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
So they built it up, they shot out a laser, and it still went to 15 degrees. So what they proceeded to do was they put it into a vacuum chamber
Right.
to get rid of the effect, and it still did the 15
Right.
degree dip. So how can you guys explain that with the flat?
Well, what we believe that they're actually measuring is the ether. The stars actually rotate around us, right? So it's either one or the other. Either the stars rotate around us, or we rotate, right? So it has to be one or the other. So what we think they're measuring with the actual rotation is actually the 15-degree-hour rotation of the ether. And the ether was actually, you ever heard of Nikola Tesla?
Yeah.
He talked a lot about the, I forgot the word. He talked a lot about the ether, right? And then Einstein came along and supposedly disproved the ether with his general theory of relativity, right? That's what happened. In the 1800s, Michelson and Morley were two scientists that actually proved that the Earth was not rotating. It's called the Michelson-Morley experiment. You can look that up and you can check it out. They actually tried to prove that the Earth was spinning, but what they actually proved was that it wasn't. So then Einstein came along and came up with his general theory of relativity to do away with that. So what's happening is mainstream scientists are using equations and models, mathematical models and equations, which make sense mathematically, right? They work, but they don't, just because they work doesn't mean that they match reality. They have to match observations in reality in order to verify that they are real, right? Because you could have mathematic formula for the pink elephant, invisible elephant in my garage, and then you can't disprove that I don't have a invisible pink elephant in my garage based on the math, right? Oh yeah, you just can't see it, but it's there. But here's the math. I prove that it's real, right? So that's basically what they're doing as far as the rotation of the Earth,
And it was even
the planets.
Tesla that said that scientists have replaced mathematics with experiments.
No.
So they're
Cell
not
phones use ground-based towers for triangulation. That's how you get service. That's why you lose service when you're driving, right? If they use satellites, why would we lose service if we drove to the next town? Right? Don't you lose service sometimes? You get in like dead spot areas. How is that possible if they're using satellites?
bouncing off of the
Because they're using,
Phone towers.
right? They're using
Away from us and, you know, from the next tower.
exactly.
Right, and
It
that's
takes
how it works
3
on these
towers.
towers.
You need 3 towers to triangulate
Not
your
on
position,
satellite.
and that's actually how GPS works. GPS is really ground positioning system. When you fly over the oceans in an airplane, you drop off the GPS. It disappears because it can't physically track you over the oceans because there's no ground-based towers to bounce off of.
I have a question.
So yes.
So if the Earth was flat, how are we all still standing? Like, how are some people not falling off?
If the Earth was a ball, we should be falling off.
A spinning ball.
Right.
How are we standing?
But they tell us gravity, right? Is why people in Australia are upside down.
So why can you?
It's nonsense.
Why can you like stand on like a really big lake like Salt Lake City? You could take a photo. You can measure the shadows, and you can see that they are dropping below.
What shadows?
Talking about refraction, is that correct?
Yeah, there's something called atmospheric refraction.
On one side of
Yes, sir.
Where's the end? Like, what's the
Okay, Antarctica is actually the ice wall. Do you have that sign again? Oh. Hey, check it out. Antarctica may actually be the ice wall that surrounds the known world, and that's what holds the oceans in. So that's why the oceans aren't falling off the edge. So we are not allowed to independently explore Antarctica. There's something called the Antarctic Treaty, which was signed in 1958, which over 20 different nations signed that agree that you are not allowed to independently explore Antarctica. You're not allowed to go past the 60th parallel, which is right there.
So I have a question.
So we can't find out if we can't go to the edge. Admiral Byrd in the 40s, he was an Army explorer. He actually went down there and explored it for the Army, for the government. And then after he did, we're thinking that he found the end. He found the dome, where the dome meets the Earth, right? Because there has to be a dome. It's a pressurized system, and it ends in Antarctica.
That's a hypothesis.
It's an hypothesis, right? We can't prove it yet because we're not allowed to go down there.
standing still, and that skulls and everything else is crap. So now I do it. Why is also one black?
Because we were created.
What's that? Why can't they go there?
We did not come about.
Well, that's our question.
Come about
But they do send certain people down there that we think that
I
are.
believe that.
No,
Yeah.
it is not.
Absolutely. Here, do you want a flyer? There's plenty of information in there, guys. Flyer? Did you get one yet? Flyer? NASA's been caught using green screens and harnesses. Check it out right there, and there's also 10 proofs inside. NASA's been caught using green screens and harnesses. Did you guys get one?
Possibly have that.
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of questions you guys are going to have, and it's natural, right? But the important thing to do is not to go looking for a motive as to why would they do it, right? Without looking at first at the evidence, right? You don't walk into a crime scene and immediately go, why did this happen? You try to collect evidence and data to support a hypothesis, right? And that's what real science is. So it's important just to take a look at all the evidence one by one and determine it for yourself. Make up your own conclusions about it. If it's not flat, it's not flat. You know, I'm not going to lose any sleep. I'm just looking for the truth, bro. I'm not trying to tell anyone what to believe or, you know. So, yes.
You know how you said that Antarctica, you know, they have like iceberg.
Yes.
You know, all this global warming that's going on with, you know.
Yeah. It's a farce. Global warming is a farce.
Where's your farce?
Yeah, because when I was in school in the late 90s, they told us that by the year 2020, the Earth would be uninhabitable because it would have warmed up that much. And did that happen? No, that's why they changed it to climate change, because they originally called it global warming, only to come to find that it wasn't warming. We were actually going through cold spells. We're having little mini ice ages. So they had to change the rhetoric, the language behind it, and say, oh, it's just climate change, right? And that's also why they try to protect Antarctica under the guise of global warming. We want to protect the icebergs, and we don't want them to melt, and we don't want to ruin the wildlife and everything that's down there. Right?
Can I get on
Yeah.
first?
Yeah, sure. There you go.
So, I mean, my thing is, like,
Yeah.
to me, I feel like, you know, round, it's like,
Well, it's round, like, right. Okay, spherical. Okay, gotcha.
I mean, like, spherical, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I just had this conversation with my dad the other day, like, he was pulling up, like, all these, like, YouTube videos, like, on YouTube videos.
Do you believe this? Do you believe the Earth is
Yes, it's not a joke. Not a joke.
You know, he was saying how the earth is held up by 4 pillars or 2 pillars of heaven.
Right.
I don't know.
And we can't prove that because we can't go underneath the Earth. We can only prove that there's no measurable curvature. We can only prove what these documents say for themselves. That there's never been an experiment to prove the rotation of the Earth, and there's also never been an experiment to demonstrably prove curvature.
question then? So,
Okay?
there's no experiments for the rotation of the Earth.
Yes.
And see what you're talking about, but then how does the sun hit different parts of the world at different times?
Okay. You're under the impression that the sun is 864 miles wide, which is what they tell us. Huge, right?
Yeah, massive.
And also 93 million miles away. Coincidentally enough, the sun and the moon are the same size, magically. That doesn't make any sense. They tell us that the sun is 400 times further away and 400 times larger, so they're exactly the same size in the sky. That doesn't add up to me. But what I'm saying is, the sun may not be that far and that big. It's more than likely a small, very small local light source, no more than a few thousand miles above our heads. So when it's actually, Karen, can you bring that over here? Just, yeah. So when it's circling around, it's very small, about maybe 32 miles wide is some of the best guesses. 32 miles wide, about 3,000 miles up in the sky. So as it goes around, the sun sets or appears to set due to perspective. Just look into it when you get a chance, right? All this is explained online. Just take a flyer. You got one?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay. And look at all the websites in the back, and also I left some really good links up here that you can check out. All right. All right. God bless, guys. Thanks for the conversation.
Start asking us questions, but we're walking over there right now.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, in the pavilion parking lot. Yeah, the pavilion. We gotta go. Brian's out there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, bye.
All right. We'll be back, guys.